What's up guys, it's Crash, and today's video should be a fun one. We're going to play a little bit of a game, a guessing game, and see how smart and well versed you guys are in Battlefield launches. But the subject matter itself is pretty serious in my opinion, and that is DICE learning from these rough Battlefield launches? There's been so many of them, and I just want to see a game launch in a playable state at the beginning and not a year later. And what got me thinking about this is I've kind of come back to 2042 and played a little more, added it into my game rotation throughout the week. And the more hours I get into it, I'm enjoying it, but I'm starting to realize how shallow the game is. And then you look at it and it's like, yeah, we've only received 4 maps in over 500 days. And we used to get that in 1 map pack. Now I know the days of the premium are probably over. We're in this live service thing forever, for the foreseeable future anyway. And this is gonna kind of be how it is. But I can't help but think many people I've seen, people are asking, should I come back to 2042? And a lot of people are saying, yeah, now it's playable. I've seen a lot of people, I've seen the quote, it's how it should have been at launch, right? And we're so far into the game's life cycle that it's just now in like a playable and releasable state. And this is not the first time it's happened. So what I want to do is make a striking illustration of how much history has repeated itself and how imperative it is that DICE learns from past mistakes and we get a game that starts at the starting line, not somewhere out in the street or not even to the stadium yet. So we need a game starting from square one, not square -10. What I mean by that is, can you imagine where this game would have been if it would have launched like this? The map team could have made more new maps instead of going back and working on old stuff. The Portal team didn't need to help them balance stuff within the Frostbite engine. They could have added new maps to Portal, new older maps remastered to Portal, some of the fan favorites that aren't even there. There hasn't been anything added to Portal, 4 new maps. The weapons and stuff are kind of a bright spot in my opinion that have been added as of late, but we're still in, I just have all these questions of where could this game have been if it would have started in this state at release. So what we're going to do is, I think this will be pretty funny. What we're going to do is I'm going to put up some quotes from some articles covering past Battlefield launches, and then you try to guess what game that is. And I think you'll start to realize how we've been down this road so many times. And I really hope that DICE and the EA management is learning from this and we can get a game that releases in a good state, right? So let's get started. I'm gonna put up some quotes and see if you guys can guess the game. Launch was marred with technical issues and bugs that frustrated players and prevented them from fully enjoying the game. Tough, right? Can you guess what that is? It sounds pretty familiar. That one's actually Battlefield 5, so that's the most recent one. Launch was one of the most disastrous in video game history, with players experiencing frequent crashes, lost progress, and broken multiplayer servers. Now I think you guys can get this one. Think of the most disastrous in video game history. Yeah, that's right. That one was Battlefield 4. Okay, so then on the next one, launch has been a disaster, with players struggling to connect to servers, encountering game-breaking bugs, and experiencing other issues that have hampered their enjoyment of the game. Any guesses? That one's Battlefield 2042. So the most recent one is suffering from the same issues, and you start to see how similar these quotes sound. Let's do another one. Launch was riddled with bugs and glitches, making it difficult for players to enjoy the game's single-player campaign and multiplayer modes. So that single-player campaign could give you a little bit of a hint that it's not 2042. That one's Battlefield Hardline, actually. All right, next one. Launch was beset with connectivity issues, server problems, and other bugs that prevented players from enjoying the game's many features. Starting to sound like a broken record, right? That one's Battlefield 5. In the next one, it's clear that blank was not ready for prime time at launch, with numerous issues that have left players frustrated and disappointed. Again, Battlefield 2042 gets the nod on that one. And then the last one, I think the same person might have written this article, not 100% sure, but you guys will see how exactly similar this quote sounds compared to the last one. It's clear that blank was not ready for prime time at launch. Again, the same thing, with numerous issues that have left players disappointed and questioning the quality of the game. That one is Battlefield 5. So you guys can really start to see that this has been a habitual, persistent problem over the last several mini Battlefield titles. You can even find other ones. I didn't throw Battlefield 1 in there. There were a couple people complaining about that one. I thought that was a pretty decent launch, all things considered. So if we could get back to that quality at launch, I think that would be pretty good. Again, that's my boomer brain trying to remember how Battlefield 1 went. So it might have been worse than I thought, with a little bit of nostalgia for that game. But you guys can see, I really hope that they're listening. I hope the management understands that this needs to be a top priority to finish the game before it launches, so we can start and see what they can actually do with the live service, because I feel like the game launches have been deteriorating, getting worse and worse at launch. The games have been rushed out. Now, we have covered on this channel extensively why that has been, But what they need to do is see what they can do when a game launches good at the start and what we can get for post-launch content, because we've gotten games that have been more broken over the years and less post-launch content. And I think that could be a little bit related. Now, so this has gone on for so long. Even Andrew Wilson, the CEO of DICE, has spoken about this in an EA earnings call. And the part of his quote was, DICE has been very good at listening to the community, understanding what's working, understanding what's not working, and continuing to refine the experience over time. So you guys can see that even Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, in an earnings call has said DICE has done this before. They've had to fix stuff in the past. So guys, can we please learn from this? I'm begging you, if we can please learn from this and have a great game at launch. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, now and again, we'll see you on the battlefield. If you did enjoy this video, I just talked about a leak coming out. It's quote unquote leak about Battlefield 7 or whatever. I don't even know what we're going to call it, but that video is up and you can look at that and discuss what we want to see in the next Battlefield. Stick around, subscribe if you enjoy FPS content, and I can't thank you enough. We'll see you later.